I'm an idiot. Hey, good morning. It's SJU, Joe, Dan, Spencer, talking bad boys with a couple of my favorite bad boys. But there's a twist today. Dan and I dressed the same to confuse Spencer.
We don't plan this. How does this keep happening, Joe?
You know what? The moment I put it on this morning, I was like, I should text Dan.
You should have, and I would have probably chosen the same shirt, but I would have known what I was getting into.
Let's dig in, though. Dan, how many plaid shirts do you own?
6, 7.
6. Are they all different flavors?
More or less, yeah.
Or are they all in the red or black variety?
No, there's different flavors.
Okay,
Different
okay.
flavors of plaid.
All right, so I guess it's on you then to...
It is. No, it's absolutely on me.
Because we have one similar shirt. If you go back through the archives, you can see one day I walked in, saw you wearing the exact same shirt, and then put a hoodie on real quick. You can find where I have one zipped right up to here, because otherwise...
like, how can they tell?
Yeah, Shirt Junkies Universe.
Oh,
Shirt talk.
yeah.
Talking
This is how
shirts.
unobservant I am. I've been here for 30 minutes, and 10 seconds before we went on the air, I looked at Joe long enough to register what shirt he was wearing.
Apparently, significant other save, we almost rented the same tux.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, for the Emmys. So we're just bonded by fashion. You guys want to talk about Will Smith and Martin Lawrence?
Hell yeah.
And how bad they've been for life?
Yeah.
We got a trailer. It's a
real movie.
Yeah, it's actually happening.
Yeah.
I feel like this has been a weird...
Not direct to Netflix.
Nope.
Yeah. It's gonna create a weird Berenstain Bears thing where people think that there was already a Bad Boys 3 because they put 4 in the title and this is the third film.
Right.
I'm confused. Are you guys confused?
If they had done FOR as the number 4, then I would.
that'd be weird.
I would feel like I went into a coma and woke up.
Yep. But okay, so I'm the only one that's confused about the title. That's fine. How do you guys feel about the trailer? I thought it was super fun and felt in the spirit of Michael Bay without him being present.
Yeah, no, I actually looked at it and I was like, did Michael Bay direct this? And I forgot. It definitely feels like the first 2 movies. I feel a little bad for Martin Lawrence.
Why's that?
Well, because like the whole...
People are really jumping on Martin.
People are jumping on Martin. It's, it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
He's a comedian.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I just feel bad because it's like... the plot of the movie is just like Will Smith is this like super successful hotshot cop and Martin Lawrence can't see. It's like, oh man, come on.
I'm sorry, that's
Poor old jerk.
that is real. These are no longer bad boys. These are bad men.
Yeah. These are bad.
But Will Smith is like the same person, and Martin Lawrence is like,
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah, but that's spitting in the face of nature. Will Smith is 80? How old is Will Smith?
Will
55?
in Xenu years, he's 104.
Yeah, he's 104. He drinks the blood of ancient volcano people.
50 years old. turning
50 years old.
month.
Excuse me.
All right.
Yeah.
That said, Martin Lawrence looks like a person of age.
A normal man.
Who would be like a cop about to retire.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw a cop that looked like Will Smith? You would turn yourself over to him.
I would acknowledge to stealing Legos as a middle schooler. It just
Yeah.
would be like, it was years ago, but just take me. You know, a lot of people, a big reaction I saw was like, Martin needs some cardio. Here's something about aging, kids. You can do a lot of cardio and your face still changes.
Sure, and this isn't like a Marvel movie.
Age
like
happens.
it's weird to expect stand-up comics, which Martin Lawrence is a sitcom and stand-up comedian. Like made more money than we'll ever need, or he'll ever need in his entire life. He's gonna really do the HGH and chicken breast diet for 8 months, like to play the out
I
of shape
promise
cop?
you, if Dave Attell is ever cast as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., he will not get abs. Like, I promise you, that
would
won't
love that.
happen.
Oh, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, and also, these are not bad Supermen. They're just bad normal boys.
Right.
They're
Will
bad,
Smith
but they're
is,
normal.
though. That's
Well,
the
yeah,
dichotomy.
yeah,
Is like
yeah.
it's part of it is the dynamic of the movie, but I think also part of it is the sort of art imitates life thing of just the fact of the matter of like what has happened subsequent to the first Bad Boys film, which is like Will Smith is still this, he just has in $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
He's still Will Smith, and then Martin Lawrence it's been like 8 years since his last movie before The Beach Bum, which came out earlier this year. Just living the life.
How was
and
The
it's
Beach
just
Bum?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I just know he was on it. It was in and out of theaters before I got it. But yeah, it's just I just feel like just part of me is like,
Poor
I
guy.
get that it's the dynamic, and part of it is just like Will Smith, the superstar, and Martin Lawrence is a regular human being that has to now act like they were like peers when
Sure.
this started. Like they were right here, and then it's just odd.
One of
It
them
makes
kept
me
doing push-ups.
sad in advance for the Bill and Ted reunion movie.
Oh no.
How's Alex
I
Winter
worry
doing?
about it.
Yeah.
I worry, and not so much Alex. I mean, yeah, this is kind of the same thing. As like Alex Winter is a successful director. Mm-hmm. He has worked like continually successfully in show business, but he just so happens to have co-starred with Keanu Reeves,
Right.
30
Who
years
is
ago.
again like
Who's Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Time Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff aside, this bless you.
Bad Boys for life.
Bad boy sneeze.
That's what we say after we sneeze every time.
Yeah, we're allergic to not being bad boys.
It was funny though.
And Ryan's not a bad boy, so it's a little dusty in here. You were saying?
It was funny though. The
trailer?
beyond the power,
Yeah.
the Will Smith Martin Lawrence thing. I thought it was funny.
Yep.
It looked like a Bad Boys movie. Felt like a Bad Boys movie.
Camera went around in some circles a few times.
Fast and Furious has ruined the concept of one last time.
Oh, I love a good one last
ride.
time.
Yeah.
I do too, but
That's a
Fast and
great
Furious
stunt.
used it seriously, and then it wasn't. So I just feel like they've cheapened the one last time, one last ride cliche. But that's not on Bad Boys. But yeah, no, it looks like, as far as the dynamic, it hasn't lost anything. It doesn't feel like it's like, remember when the trailers for Dumb and Dumberer or whatever the sequel came out, and you're like, oh,
They're doing the things again, yeah.
Yeah.
it didn't feel like that.
My only, the only part where I got nervous was when they had some slight shades of Blade Trinity, where they're like
The new kids?
the new kids are singing Bad Boys for Life, and they're like, it's not your time, meaning that could they be next?
Those kids are not going to get a movie.
Bad babies.
You guys aren't getting a movie. Stop dancing.
Yeah.
And he's right, by the way, because all anyone remembers is Bad Boys, Bad Boys, but then it goes. It's like it does take a long time to learn this word.
Yeah.
It kind of just sounded like you guys rapped Informer just now.
Hey.
Bad boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was worried that because everyone keeps promising us back to basic sequels, and by everyone I mean James Cameron with the new Terminator, because that's where I'm going with this. They were like, Terminator's back to basics, and then the big set piece was a CGI airplane hitting another CGI airplane while everyone fell into the CGI sky.
Seen it.
And I was like, that doesn't look like a Terminator movie to me. And so I was worried that this was going to do the same thing and fall a little more towards like the Fast and the Furious level / like new Terminator level of ridiculous, but this looks
I'm
like...
sorry, Bad Boys 2 is as ridiculous
Yeah,
as any
okay, that's
Fast and
fair.
Furious movie.
But it feels a
Doesn't
little
he, like smoke an embalmed person, or what? Doesn't Martin Lawrence?
No, that's
has to-
How High.
That's
That's the movie.
Oh,
How
yeah,
High
that's how they get
Method
into
Man.
college. They smoke their genius friend.
Yes.
You'd fail that schmodown question, Spencer.
Sorry. Respect to Method Man.
Mad respect to Method Man. But I appreciated that, like this, like the truck sequence, like that was a really badass stunt. But it felt like a little more in the vein of like early '90s Bay, where it's like, let's push the stuntmen as far as they'll go, as opposed to like, here's a big CG set piece.
I'm off for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm for life for that.
And the Joey Pants shout out.
Joey Pants.
Joey Pants. Joe Pantoliano.
Oh,
one
yeah.
of our great character actors.
Yep.
Great
Not
to see.
always typecast as an angry Italian guy,
No.
but sometimes at his finest,
Yes.
typecast as an angry Italian guy.
Yeah.
But although I don't think his character is Italian in this, but he's still like, what are you doing? You're breaking my balls! Captain Conrad Howard. Okay.
Yeah.
My headcanon is
Apologies.
he's so stressed out all the time because this is where he ended up when they plugged him back into the Matrix. And they put him in charge of these guys.
He was a police chief.
He's like, I betrayed everybody for this!
Oh, no.
No! Yeah.
to be an actor.
Sweet, sweet Joey Pants. I
Joey
love that guy.
Pants. Always good to see Joey Pants.
But yeah, synopsis. Yeah, I mean, I got this from the trailer. Marcus Brennan's now a police inspector, and Mike Lowry's in a midlife crisis. Both of them unite again when an Albanian mercenary, whose brother they just defeated, promises
Always
them
great.
an important bonus in revenge, just as the duo is about to retire, officially unretired, as far as I'm concerned. My only wrap-up question is this. When you hear the song Bad Boys for Life by Puff Daddy and the
Yes.
Family, do you believe them?
Well, yeah.
What's the
Puff
baddest
Daddy's
thing?
still a bad boy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. He's
Or
like.
did he stop being a bad boy when he started changing his name a lot?
No, that was well in line with his bad boyness. Puff Daddy, is he still making bands? Still making the band?
I don't think he's making the
Not
Okay, is
or
he
at least
still-
not on camera. He might still be making some bands behind the scenes, but I don't know.
The shot I saw of Puff Daddy, riding, was it a jet ski in a bathrobe? He will be a bad boy for life.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay.
Solely on that one photo of putting on your bathrobe and taking the jet ski to your large boat.
Oh, that was a candid photo.
That was a candid
That wasn't
photo.
like
a paparazzi shot caught him.
Is that the
that wasn't from the video for Hypnotize? Okay.
I don't think that's being a bad boy in the way that he meant he was going to be a bad boy. For
Yeah.
life. I mean, that's the most
don't know.
bougie thing you could possibly do is, I'm going to take the jet ski in my bathroom. But that's not being a bad boy.
bad
That's
boy.
being a rich boy. Come on.
What about Mace?
Mace became a preacher, I think.
Yeah.
But he might be
Opposite.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy for life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alignment change. You didn't see it coming. Big swerve. Yeah. I like the drama in the
Don't
bad
ask
boy
me about
family.
the rest of the Junior Mafia. Because
Okay,
I
that's
don't know.
fair. We won't even. We'll save the locks for next week.
Thank you.
Mace is bad for Christ.
Yeah, he's bad for the Lord.
yeah.
He's a bad boy for the Lord. I think that's good. Hey guys, do you like that? Make sure you like and subscribe. We do this morning show every day, live at 11,
Mostly about
SJU,
shirts.
here on Fandom.
Yeah.
It's mostly about shirts and old 90s hip hop. I've got a lot of opinions about the Flip Mode Squad, and I want you to hear them. Also, this month, I have terrible transitions to get into serious business. Something we're doing this month, or we're starting to do with the show, is each month we're going to be spotlighting a different organization or charity that's doing really cool works. Sometimes tangentially related to pop culture and fandom. Other times just because we think they're really awesome, and we wanted to kick it off with an organization we've actually had the pleasure to be able to work with. September is Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, so we are highlighting an organization that's working with a highly at-risk portion of our population called Stack Up. Stack Up brings veterans and civilians together through a shared love of video gaming. They serve U.S. and allied service members, veterans, and civilians to assist in crisis intervention, suicide prevention, and issues concerning mental health through gaming and community. They're great guys over there. They do really, really wonderful work, all of them. We've got a link in the description. You can visit stackup.org for more information.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hoorah.
Also bad boys for life. Stack Up is bad boys for life. We've got plenty of bad boy content on Fandom and Screen Junkies you can check out. Dan's charting with Dan. You did a full summer box office recap.
There's nothing more bad than crunching numbers, Joe.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I do every week on Charting with Dan.
I mean, you can't say bad boys for life without a number.
You can't.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's mathematically impossible.
It's phonetically present in the title of that film.
Absolutely. And that sentence was Bad Boys for Life. The honest trailer for the 90s miniseries of It is out right now, as well as the honest trailer commentaries, where you can see us be befuddled that so many of you love the Waltons as much as
We
you
got
do.
rolled up on by the John Boy Walton
God.
stands.
God, the Waltons apparently...
Came out of the mountains and really...
They all hopped
man.
on their dinosaurs and came down to the comment section.
Y'all don't mess with John Boys for life.
Oh, man.
They'll come for you.
Yeah.
Also, a surprising amount of Alf talk on that episode.
Yes,
Alf
I
talk.
was...
Dan
well
got
done.
4 Alf references deep, and we were all lost.
And here's the thing about it. I didn't realize this until after we stopped rolling. This was you realizing in real time that you had an Alf impression.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful.
He was working it out.
I was working it out. I was workshopping the Alf.
But you were hitting that mic. I loved it. I appreciated
I
it.
just in the moment just went like, yo! And then I realized like, hey, that does kind of sound like Alf. And then I just rolled with it and ran it into the ground, as I do.
And then speaking of amazing things that Dan has done, make sure you check out our Labor Day SJU on Monday as a pre-tape. It also contains one of the greatest games ever invented in the history of games, where Dan made the panel guess how much celebrities charge for their services on the app Cameo.
Yeah.
It was very thrilling, very dramatic, with some surprise twists that you
Yeah.
will not expect.
Down to the wire.
And finally, speaking of bad boys, this is not a drill. Gentlemen, Movie Fights is back Saturday morning. It's going to be airing. It's 3 fighters. They will be seated.
Oh, thank God.
Bless you. off-camera sneeze, and those 3 seated fighters will be answering 5 questions.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. So strap in. That's going to be the first half of your Saturday. I'm trying to decide if we're going to tell him what we're doing with movie fights or not. Give him a little hint, a little taste.
It's going to be a little bit of a
Slash my
look
robot
at what
brain
the show's
reset.
going to be going forward and why we went monthly, because it's going to be. It's not just 5 questions that we're sort of scraping to find. It's like 5 questions that cover the stuff that's come out since we did the show last. So we're going to be covering the summer movie season, the best and worst. We're going to be covering Marvel stuff. We're going to be covering, trailer stuff. It's like we can take the biggest stories that have come out and like 5 solid rounds about just
gonna be
the
good
big stories, and hopefully it's just going to kind of show like why we're going monthly.
I mean, previously we would have to do
ones.
12 questions in a month, main ones, and 5 of them would be good. So
Right.
now
We would have
Now you
done,
just you get 5 headline questions,
Yeah.
bless you, instead of,
we have to do
exactly.
an entire show around Marvel Phase 4, which really we can distill like maybe one solid round out of it. So that's what we're hoping people enjoy. And this Saturday you'll see for the first time how it feels. But going back to 5 main rounds, which is one of the things we definitely wanted to do as we went monthly, was an expanded of the main round.
Someone in chat asked, no more live movie fight? No, because it's normally live Pacific time, Thursday, late afternoon, and most of the world is asleep. So we figured, why not just drop it in 1080 HD.
Yeah. Oh, this is how
Saturday
it used
morning.
to happen.
Yeah, that's the way it used to
come out
be.
on the weekends. It was
Right.
pre-taped and it came out on the mornings and the weekends, and that's people like things going back to the way that they were. We found, and so this is literally going back almost precisely to exactly how movie fights started.
But 3 judges.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with like
Also,
Hal and
Danielle,
yeah.
fact checker.
checker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
They'll also be seated.
Good. I'll start watching again.
Okay, good.
great.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a solid show.
We've been missing your view.
Hey, boys, it's time for an update in the streaming wars. Let's do this. Oh, yeah, there's the graphic. I like it a lot.
Streaming law.
Streaming wars! Boys. Netflix is starting to test, well, not starting to, but more and more is doing a weekly release model for some of their shows. The new model of, actually, this took me by surprise. I was a little salty. We are very excited to sit down and watch a new season of the Great British Baking Show.
GBB.
On Monday night, we realized it was there, and we were like, "Oh God, Monday night's just going to be some baking show." We sat
And you
down.
only got to watch one
episode.
Frumpy dowager ruin a trifle.
Yeah,
Hey, we do not put up with Great British Baking Show slander
No,
on
we're
this
bad
show.
bakes for life over here, baby.
I'm a Guy Fieri man, the bad boy of cooking. Woo!
I tell you what, then you go mix your food with a baseball bat.
Yeah!
And Joe and I are
Let's
gonna
get some donkey sauce all up in there.
Joe and I are gonna make a nice cuppa.
Indeed.
And watch some very pleasant people politely cook food.
That's too
in
sweet.
A giant
Guy Fieri is a
outdoor tent.
gentleman, a scholar and a gentleman.
Guy Fieri's nice, but he's very like. I once saw like I used to edit. Don't judge me. I used to edit footage that people shot at like food festivals, and I saw it was like
I didn't know this.
Guy Fieri was there, and he does
Awesome.
he does so much for the small businesses of America.
Yes,
he does.
But his bit was like I'm making sangria in a painter's bucket. I'm pouring 5 things of boxed wine, and now I'm stirring it with a baseball bat.
That's dynamite!
You're at a food festival.
That's killer, Dan.
Wolfgang Puck is next to you, making like shaving.
Guy is a man of the
shaving
people.
like
He does not
things.
recuse himself to a white tent in a field where everyone's gonna make a frumpkin. Oh, I've never made a frumpkin before. Who
Those
cares?
pumpkins look delightful, and I'll take it over Guy Fieri's mayonnaise balls inside of a deep fried snow cone any day.
Those are called patacho blasters. How dare you?
I like our new segment where you guys just yell made up foods at each other.
Yep.
Very into this. Basically, the show ended. And Netflix was like, "Do you want to watch this other show?" And I was like, "No, I want to watch episode 2 of this show."
Yep.
And Netflix was like, "You can't, because it's weekly." It was a little off-putting for me. They're also doing it with a competition show they're doing called Rhythm and Flow. They're doing it's a hip hop competition featuring T.I. and Cardi B and Chance the Rapper. That one more with the idea. I get that because they don't want it spoiled. So everyone's
Sure.
just got to watch weekly.
Yeah.
So Netflix has responded.
They
Complex
released all the episodes of the Carcata. It's pretty fun. It's
What?
like a giant crazy
Oh, God,
car
I saw
obstacle
that.
course. Yeah, but you also only need to watch one episode and you get it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, got it. So Netflix has responded to people talking about this and saying like, "Hey, it's not the first time that we've done this, but it does seem like, I mean, that you used to be able to binge Great British Baking Show and stuff like that."
Well, they were also like 3 years old. Like I think they've just caught up to like
True.
iteration.
So do you think this is sort of a response to Disney Plus being like, "Hey, we're doing all our stuff weekly"? No.
No.
Okay. Well, to me, I feel like when Netflix was the only game in town, the binging thing was like this unique new model.
Yeah.
And has the sheen wore off? Has it passed? Is what
I
I'm
think
wondering.
it just shows how far we've come in a few short years that people are like, I have to wait a week between episodes of a television show. What the hell is happening? The world's gone crazy.
Oh, that's
It's like,
full on an
no.
impression of me.
Like,
Yeah.
that's how TV works. That's how TV worked for 80 years before last week.
It does seem weird that they have invented television, like normal television schedules.
Yeah, that
Like
what's old is new again. But these are all
doing it.
these are all competition shows, though. Isn't that the?
Tale?
Well,
was that?
Plus is doing it. Disney's doing it with all their
all their
Marvels
stuff.
and their Falcons and
Because I think
Witches.
they just don't have enough.
Well, and you
content,
want to
that
keep
sweet
people on the
content.
hook.
Yeah.
Like, I think the one thing that is true is that maybe more of them are experimenting with this because now with so much competition, they don't want people to wait for a show to come out that they like, then sign up for a month and binge it and cancel. I could see that, but this idea of just like, Netflix is radically changing their model because of Disney. It's like, two shows out of however many, and it's
sure.
not
But I do see them adjusting maybe because, Stranger Things season 3 couldn't have been cheap, and I think people stopped talking about it after like 3 days because everyone cranked through it and they moved on. As opposed to
that's always been the case. I think it's all Netflix cares about is subscriber gain or loss. So I think that I truly think this is because of the format of the shows and they're trickling out them because every week, I assume somebody gets voted out of the gazebo or whatever they do.
The tent.
Yeah, the tent.
Yes.
the hip hop tent.
Yeah, and the hip hop show, like they snatch their chain and throw it on the ground and say,
Oh, no,
"Rhymes
no.
are whack."
In my head, they're both on the exact same set. They're both in that very nice park.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And then they switch the arrows, and what an episode!
And if someone drops a bar Paul Hollywood particularly likes, he just politely shakes their hand. Yeah.
That'd be great. I don't think that this is even a thing until they start doing their dramas and their more original programming, not their licensed stuff, and start dribbling that out. Then we got a story on our hands.
Yes. I agree. If they were like Haunting of Hill House or whatever,
1 week at a
it's
time.
going to be 1 week at a time. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at what seems like a strategic shift, but I just think that
It makes sense to me. I mean, I was honestly surprised that Dark Crystal, originally I think, I remember hearing Dark Crystal was going to be 1 week at a time. I was actually surprised when the whole thing dropped because that was not a cheap show.
no. But I mean, I think they know that the people that are really motivated to watch the Dark Crystal are going to sign up and want to watch it like immediately.
Yeah.
That's how it works. The Great British Baking Show, I don't think, as great as it is, I don't think that a lot
Phenomenal.
of people subscribe to Netflix just to watch the Great British Baking Show.
Well,
I
not
think they're
anymore.
like,
Now
all
they
right,
have a
well,
lot of content.
Let's try. Let's see. That's how they have to watch it in the UK.
They even say
have to watch it
because this is a licensed show, so there might be something deal related with the BBC, I imagine, or whoever does that. But it's like they even say in a tweet, "We're trying something new, but not happening with more shows than that." So this is a 2-show pony here.
I don't know. I think that we're so thirsty for new developments that any slight indication is seen as a sea change in the streaming world. It's like, no, they're doing something different. And by the way, TV's always worked like this. We're just
No.
spoiled and like I said,
Well, I think the concept in general is so funny of like weekly.
yeah, Handmaid's Tale is weekly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like getting excited for a show. I don't, some things you want to binge or you want to catch up on something, but if there's a new show that people are talking about and people like, it's nice to be like, oh, it's Sunday night. Oh, get ready. Yeah.
No, I think I like the weekly. I think stepping back, I just think looking at the business model now, it's like, because when Game of Thrones ended, we talked a lot about like, is the era of like water cooler TV over? And I don't think it has to be necessarily, you know.
Did you guys talk about that Spielberg show that you can only watch after midnight?
What?
Is it
On
Gremlins?
Apple TV or something? I think it's like one of his anthology shows, or maybe it's not the Spielberg one, but some new show that's coming out. You can only watch it after midnight in your local time zone. That's cool. Just go full chaos
that's
wolf
really
with
weird.
it. Just
Yeah.
do it.
But
Release shows at all random times, out of order.
But then it becomes like Gremlin rules.
yeah,
When's the
Gremlin
cutoff?
rules. Interesting.
Like you can literally only watch it at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, what does Apple do? See, this is the slippery slope that we've been worried about. Now Apple's going to start determining when night ends, and before you know it, we're all working in a factory like the people that we don't like to think about actually are in other countries that aren't here.
Now, see, my hope is like Vero or someone like that's going to get into the content game, and their strategy is going to be it's a binge dump, but it's only available. It's a binge dump. Hey, sometimes you take them. But the content
Only
is
after
only
Chipotle.
only after Chipotle. But the content's only available for like X number of hours during the week, and they're not going to tell you when.
Yeah, I think they should go further than the After Dark thing and go like you have to go full blood ritual of chewed. You know,
Yeah.
Tie your tongue together.
tie your
with someone
tongues
else's.
together.
Yeah.
Slice your palm, hold hands, bleed on your iPhone, and then the ghost of Steve Jobs allows you access.
You don't actually see the show. He just like holds your temples, and you know what happened.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm into this.
You touched on this a little bit on Flickbait when we summoned Sheldon Jr.
Oh yeah, young Sheldon.
Young
Yeah.
Sheldon.
So
Sorry, not Sheldon Jr. How could I make that mistake?
is Sheldon his own father?
Find out.
to watch him find out.
Young Sheldon Jr.
Unfortunately, it's not a binge drop show, so you can't
You'll have
find
to
out like
wait.
immediately. You'll actually have to wait and find out with the rest of the country. Guys, speaking of really exciting news that I'm going to spend way too long trying to talk about to fill time, Tomb Raider sequel got a director. Woo! Yeah! This is via Deadline. Ben Wheatley is directing MGM's Tomb Raider sequel. He directed Free Fire, which was like a nice little we're all in a room shooting at each other thingamabop. How excited are you guys for Tomb Raider, the movie that we put in an honest trailer with another movie?
That's right.
I liked it better than Pacific.
we two-packed this movie.
I liked it better than Pacific Rim 2, which it shared honest trailer time with. I think that it unfortunately got worse as it went along. I liked the beginning of this film. I thought that she was great before she became Raider of Tombs, but once she was actually tomb raiding, you know, I think we said it before, there's only so much you can do in a tomb these days that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
You know, there's a platform that falls away, there's something that crumbles, there's a room that fills with either darts or gas or gassy darts, and, you know, I think we've tapped out. Show me a new tomb thing, and then I'll get excited again. But take her out of take the Tomb Raider out of the tomb, but then what is a Tomb Raider with no tomb?
Yeah,
to raid?
exactly.
Maybe that's what it'll deal with.
Are you even a Tomb Raider
Yeah.
at that point? I think you're just like a room raider.
Right.
And what's that movie?
It's a great show.
Dan, how pumped are you for this?
Yeah, well, it did this. The last one I thought there's a reason we put it in with Pacific Rim Uprising because it was thoroughly mediocre. It did that thing with an origin story that I hate, where you know who the character is, but it's like, but we have to tell her tale from the beginning. And
Yay!
it ends at the point at which you become interested, which is like literally the last thing in the movie is her with two guns going like, "I'll take two." It's like, do that 45 minutes ago. Like,
Oh, okay.
I know
So we
that
liked
you're-
it. We disliked
I
it
know
for
that-
different reasons, though.
I know that you're getting to this, and it's just belaboring the point to get her to the point. It's just like it'd be like if Batman Begins ended with him like looking at Morgan Freeman and going like, "Does it come in black?" And it rolled. It's like, no, that's the point we were waiting to get to, and you did it at the very end of the movie. So I just hate when they do that. When
The
like,
next
they
one is
spend a
about the
whole
shorts.
movie building up to a thing that you already know is coming, instead of like doing something interesting and then
Yeah.
But I like the dynamic better.
She looks
in the
up
beginning.
and the two guns are Ed Norton.
Yeah.
yes, two guns are staring down at her from
Zalem.
From Zalem.
What I liked about the film was the dynamic of like, what if, you know, Jane Schmo has to be Indiana Jones? Like, she was like a bike messenger, right? She was just kind of like a sporty person, but certainly not somebody who would take
I mean,
on
she
an
had like a
island full of
$1 zillion
mercenaries.
inheritance, but yes, was also a bike messenger.
Money was her superpower. Yeah. No low estate taxes were her Batcave.
She's like if Bruce Wayne was like, I'm going to do Postmates.
Okay, fair enough. But I think that she ended up in a less interesting place than where she started. So, because we've seen I'll Take Two, and it's Angelina Jolie in, John Voight reunion notwithstanding, crapping it up on screen.
Yeah. I do feel like, there's potential there. it wasn't so heinous that it's like, oh God, no, not another one. Honestly, it doesn't. I did some number crunching. It didn't really matter what we thought of it here.
It made enough, right?
Well, no. If it was just domestic, it would have been a terrible bomb. It made $58 million here. It was a $94 million budget. But it is an example of one of those movies where domestic performance is almost irrelevant because it made 78.8% of its money from overseas. It actually made about almost $300 million worldwide. It just wasn't a particularly big success here, but that doesn't matter progressively. Pacific Rim, which was a movie that got a sequel, it made 75% of its money overseas. Transformers 4 was the lowest grossing at that time Transformers movie domestically. It made 77.8% of its money overseas. Fate of the Furious made 81.7% of its money overseas. So particularly with these big action franchises, it really doesn't matter to a great extent what it does here. The larger focus is very much on what it's doing overseas. Hobbs and Shaw is doing the same thing. Like, it's doing okay here, but it was a very expensive movie. It's doing pretty well, but it's doing great elsewhere, and that's what matters. So this was, it didn't make a huge impact here, but it also doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
it's the kind of movie that we're seeing the marketplace completely evolve on what really constitutes a hit and what constitutes a flop. So
we shall see if it works.
I think it's got potential, though. I liked Alicia Vikander in this.
Yeah, she's great. I think it should be a period piece, though. Like, it feels weird that in the modern world there are still giant tombs that haven't been discovered. Yeah,
it's a big world.
By the British.
by the British. That's why, like, Indiana Jones. If they said in Indiana Jones today, it would be like, we're off to discover the. And it's like, oh, we found it because satellites and Google Maps. Like, a Google Map car went by that temple, and we found that MacGuffin.
There's only so
already.
many places that are eternally covered in storms or clouds or whatever. That,
maybe 4.
Yeah, maybe 4. And once you check those off. So yeah, get her out of the tomb.
Yeah.
It's a big world. I think there's a lot of interesting tombs that have yet to be rated. I have faith in the tombs of the world that there's 1 to 2 more interesting tombs.
At least
1 to 2 interesting tombs.
To make this a trilogy.
To make it a trilogy that have not yet been rated.
The best part of the video games is when she fights a dinosaur, so I'm hoping we can work that in somehow. Maybe it's a Land of the Lost situation. Or cross her over with Godzilla, I think.
Yeah. Send her to Skull Island.
Skull Island.
How many tombs there are on Skull Island?
At least 8.
That King Kong ate a lot of people.
Yeah.
You have to memorialize those people.
Yeah. That means tombs.
Some kind of a tomb.
Yeah, that means tombs. That's a tomb, baby.
Hey, get yourself a big monkey. You got a tomb going.
You got a tomb going. Sorry, now I'm just thinking of, like, ancient Egypt, like a guy who's in the tomb business. Yeah. Like, now we can upgrade you to traps.
Carl Weathers tomb salesman. I'd watch that way more than Tomb Raider 2.
I'd watch it on a weekly model on a streaming service.
Yep.
And finally, I just want to talk about this because this is.
I think they already have that show, kind of. There's like a reality show about like a crazy funeral house, and they want the themed funeral, and they really jazz it up. Like, she always loved hang gliding. It's like, we're gonna hang glide this corpse right into the coffin.
They're gonna pimp people's funerals.
Yeah, it's like pimp my funeral, or maybe that's just from my mind's eye, and I just sold a show.
Yeah, you are
to HGTV.
You need to leave and go make money selling that.
Either way, whether that show is imagined or real, that has got to be the worst producing gig in the world. It's like, I need you to scour the obituaries and call the recently
pay for your funeral
and be like,
Mrs.
Madison, I'm terribly sorry for your loss. I saw that your husband passed away in a car accident.
I also hear that he loved clowns.
Yes, but I hear that he was a big fan of the circus, and I have a proposal for you. What if?
This reminded me of this other show. Sorry, I gotta talk about, because we haven't talked about this on the show yet. This true crime home renovation series, Murder House Flip.
Oh, hell yeah.
Have you guys you heard about this?
No, I haven't.
So Josh Berman will be using his experience from his years working on CSI on his new project, Murder House Flip, a true crime home renovation series for Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman's short form video platform, Quibi.
You have to pronounce it with the question.
So it is described I don't know what a Quibi is, but I'm sure we'll be making videos for them soon. But meanwhile,
say the Quibi.
Wow, Dan. Did not expect that coming from you. I'm sorry.
I expected that joke from Melmac.
Yo! I've just come back from a conference with the Queeby.
She's crazy right now.
Kevin Hart. No. That's another thing we were talking about.
Murder House Flip is described as an unconventional home renovation show that takes on the country's most infamous homes. The ones, I just put 2 syllables on homes. The ones known for the mysterious murders and incredible intrigue committed within their walls. Homeowners turn to the colorful cast of forensic specialists, spiritual healers, and high-end renovation
I'm
experts.
glad there's a medium involved.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Because you get rid of all the blood and viscera, but now the soul is still there.
We're going to take out this wall and really sage the room to uncover the true crime, shocking secrets, and scandalous histories of their homes. Then cleansing renovations remove the stains of the past and take these homes from morbid to marvelous.
God.
This is real.
Wait, I'm sensing. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
I've got a spirit.
He's got a
spirit. It's Mrs. Smith. She says she always hated this backsplash. She thinks blue with white cabinets is what this room has always needed.
Well, the more expensive option will pay off in the long run, and you really shouldn't middle this.
She says the value added to the resale of the home will be worth the nominally added construction fees.
My cat always wanted the more expensive option.
The only missed opportunity is that they don't start the show from the moment of the murder. They're not the first people that come in the door and be like, oh, whoa.
You have a cop spinoff, really.
It should be live PD should just flow directly into this show.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah. Good find.
I wanted to close out the show with this because I read about this morning and it kind of blew my mind a little bit. I want this to be like a weird kind of like non-crappy people involved with it House of Cards spinoff. This is Viva Variety. This is about the SAG elections, the Screen Actors Guild.
SAG-AFTRA.
SAG-AFTRA. SAG-AFTRA.
Merged.
No.
SAG-AFTRA.
Our former home.
That's right.
That old used to work in the
Defy building.
SAG-AFTRA office.
Now SAG-AFTRA is a character name on the show Carnival Row on Amazon Prime. So several protests have been filed over the re-election of Gabrielle Cateras to the SAG-AFTRA presidency last week. So she won. She won the contest. She won 44% of the votes cast, easily beating poor Matthew Modine.
That's a pretty slim margin, 10.6 to 13.5. That's not crazy.
And then Alicia Searless, who was described as, according to her Twitter account, an entertainment industry professional, teacher, mother, accountant, entrepreneur, gourmet, culinary artist, writer. She only got just a few over just 1,000 votes.
I want to know who Abraham Justice is.
Because that's a dope name.
Who is Abraham Justice?
We're going to look on IMDb.
He's obviously in SAG-AFTRA.
Okay.
How is he not the headlining star of the Abraham?
Well, I got curious about Miss
Justice.
Searless because you'd think someone running for SAG-AFTRA would be on IMDb, and she was not. So I was like, what? Oh, Abraham Justice. Oh, he's a stunt dude.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Oh, hell
Wait
yeah.
a minute. There's a stuntman named Abraham Justice?
That's your president. This guy, you can't see the headshot, but he's just, look him up on IMDb. His headshot is just straight up him swinging a samurai sword at the camera.
What has he been in?
Oh, my God, he's baller.
It's the last thing the camera guy ever saw.
He was actually not shooting
Absolutely.
Justice.
Oh, man. Everything. What has he not been in? General Hospital was not the first credit I expected to read off of here. Escape Room, Shooter, I See You, Whiskey Tango, Foxtrot, Black Jesus, State of Affairs, Sector 4, Extraction, The Bold and the Beautiful, he's Argo, The Eric Andre Show, places where you would expect to find Abraham Justice.
What actor?
Yeah, there we go. Abraham.
Name me an actor that has
Abraham.
been in more different, varied projects. He's been in a Best Picture winner and The Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah, NCIS Los Angeles, SEAL Team. He did motion capture on Tintin. Abraham Justice has been around,
I would
dude.
follow him
Abraham
into battle.
Justice
I
came in
absolutely
last.
would.
Although it looks like that battle is outside Buffalo Wild Wings.
So here's the deal. Here's the controversy. Here's why a lot of people are saying Abraham Justice lost. So justice for Abraham Justice. Los Angeles board member Brian Hamilton alleged in his complaint about the election results to the election committee that 2 August airings of the Fox series, is it called Beverly Hills 90210 or BH 90210? Okay.
It's new.
BH 90210, in which Gutierrez starred as the president of a fictional actors union, amounted to a not so subtle national commercial for her campaign. Her and the original 90210 cast, they played themselves in the series. It's about them trying to launch a revival of the show.
Serious? Wow, I had no idea. That's insanely meta.
Yeah.
Just insane, actually.
I kind of want to see it. So she's also one of the executive producers of the show.
And she cast herself as a actors union president.
Yes.
Well,
so,
first of all, she's an executive producer, which means she had probably did not cast herself.
Yeah.
They come in all levels of influence.
I bet they're all
executive producer. But I would assume the one swing she might have made was to specifically also
Perhaps,
play
yes.
the president of the Actors Guild of America, AGA. So
I think we should.
I just like the
I
scandal.
think it should be the Movie Actors Guild of America.
Kevin Sorbo is the automatic president.
Kevin Sorbo is
For
James
life.
Caan, is president of MAGA.
Right. John Voight. You got your...
Kelsey Grammer is the treasurer.
Yep.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is like the old president who like now has serious rift with the Movie Actors Guild of America and makes Twitter videos.
That's the show.
That's the show.
I don't know what else to do. Always end when you're crying, guys.
Yeah.
Dan,
Oh wait,
Spencer.
no! I feel like we baited the hook here.
Finish the story, Joe.
Stakes political intrigue story of all.
But I want there to be like a full scandal miniseries about it.
Yes.
I just think
30,000
Right.
people voted in this election.
it's really
20% of actors voted in this election.
it's really brilliant. The only way you could get lower stakes is if you were a temporary writer for a YouTube series, and one day while the other writers were gone, moved in all your stuff from home into the office to make them give you a job.
No one noticed.
They're saying that the election is unfair because she was in a show in which she plays a fictional version of herself, in which she is and they're saying that because of this,
But it would be like if Bernie Sanders cast himself as the president somehow in 24, and during 24 looked to camera and said, "There are millionaires and billionaires and billionaires screwing over the little guy. That's why you, no, don't beat me out. I'm still talking."
but think about the 24 reach millions of viewers. I want you to think about this show, okay? I want you to think about how unimportant this show is.
I think the type of people
you
who
go to
vote in a
battle with the
SAG
army you got.
election and like people who are thirsty for the return of BH 90210.
More
solid
people
message.
watched this show than voted in that SAG election, and that should show you how generally unimportant. But to some people, this is the most
Yeah.
important thing going,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Right.
It's basically saying that of the 3,000, less than 3,000 people who chose Gabriel Carteris over Matthew Modine, perhaps some of those 3,000 saw
Hills
an
bump.
episode of BH 90210, saw Gabriel Carteris in that episode playing a fictional version of herself as a fictional president of a fictional actors guild, and said, "I am not voting for Matthew Modine. I have been swayed." And now this whole election must
take
be
much.
thrown into question.
Yeah.
Do you think
It's
if
insane.
Recount. Redo.
Yeah.
Insane.
We should
They
bar
have parties.
candidates
They
from
have
playing
parties.
union presidents.
There's like Matthew Modine and his membership first party versus Gabriel Carteris and her actors forward party. It's like the amount of time and energy it's a little crazy little subculture that's just. It just goes to show you that there's something that someone's world spins around everything.
Yeah. Just because you play a businessman on a television show and then run a campaign that you'll run the nation like a businessman does not that's not a big long commercial.
Well, don't say anything controversial, Joe. Like I'm about to.
I am a
John Boy Walton does not deserve to be the union president, nor does he deserve to be on television or mentioned again.
Kevin Sorbo and the Actors First Party of the Movie Actors Guild of America are really going to make Hollywood great again. And John Boy Walton is not the answer to those problems.
I'm just excited that all three of us are on record as voting members of MAGA. Guys, that's our show. We'll see you tomorrow morning, right here at 11 o'clock on SJU. Have a good one.